today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
We're back with episode 71 of Shop Talk. We hope everyone who celebrated Thanksgiving had a great one. And coincidentally, the Rookie Feds celebrated Thanksgiving last week too with their episode. So that was fun to see for sure.
So fun. I loved the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good, like, found family moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do have some news for this week, not too much because the mid-season finales are coming up. But the Rookie dropped some season 5 cast photos onto the ABC press site. Well, really ABC did, but like therefore the Rookie. So we finally got photos of True, Sean, Makia, and Jenna though, and like in addition to updated ones for the rest of the cast. So that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
saw
just thought it was like I don't know, they just all look like all like grown up or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I also just like loved how everyone was like already photoshopping them to be like Tim and Lucy and yeah.
Yeah.
No, like everyone's changed so much since season 1. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But and then part 2 of the winter finale take back photos were released too, but we're still waiting on photos for part 1, which is the collar. I doubt that we'll ever get those, but who knows?
Nope.
We may be surprised. So
Doubt it. I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, I don't know, because there were like some not speculation, I guess, like on Twitter earlier that like people were like, whose voice do you hear in the
Mhm.
promo, or like whose hand is it grabbing the door? And I'm like, oh gosh, we're not doing this again. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we just need it to like air, so then we just know exactly what
Yeah.
happened to who and or
Yeah.
like what, and just all of that.
Yeah. I mean, people were saying like, oh, well, we're not getting 508 photos because, something big happens for Chenford and they want to keep that a secret. Like, I don't know. I'm just like,
And I guess, but they dropped undercover photos of them, which I didn't think they
yeah.
were going to do. So
Remember before 501 where it was just like, here, just have the entire episode but broken
yeah,
up into pieces. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much because I'm like,
I'm not either
I'll
because I
believe it
don't
when I see it. So
I don't know. Like I'm not even this is gonna sound bad. Like I'm not even like focused on Chenford. Like I'm not. Like well, because I just want to know what the heck happens with these like bombs. Like
yeah.
I did like that's insane to me that there's like someone out there that is like made like collars
Yeah.
and like put them on people. Like what? That's just I'm just still like stuck on that, I guess. I mean, like, yes, I'm excited that like Chenford's riding together and everything, but like I can't even my mind can't like fathom
Yeah.
anything like past that just because I have to know like what happens with the actual like case that they're
Yeah.
so.
For me, I mean, like we don't have Chenford really mentioned in the episode description, so I'm like, all I know is that they're riding together. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not speculating anything else more than that because I really don't know. I am slightly worried for Selena's like job, like what all of her storyline is going to entail, but like we've also seen Lisette filming, so like I feel okay about it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. So the Rookie Feds also released their winter finale photos for Flashback. Ironically, so we have like Take Back for the Rookie and then Flashback
Yeah.
for Feds. And then they had also posted like over the like before their Thanksgiving episode that like the premiere had gained like close to like 800% more like among their demo, and like they had 9.2 million like total viewers. Like that's insane.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So lots of people are tuning in, which is great. And
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just glad we have like a full season for them.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be interested to see like what the numbers are. Well, especially
Yeah.
when they like switch. Well, I guess they're not really switching, but like the Rookie is, but still like to have
Yeah.
them both on the same night, you know?
Yeah.
when they come back. So
Yeah, that'll be interesting, especially too, because like after next week or after this week, for Rookie Feds, they're on hiatus. So I mean, anyone who hasn't like gotten a chance to watch it or catch up or anything, like we'll have from now when you're listening to this, like end of November to beginning of January. So it'll be cool. Yeah.
You could easily fit that in. Although,
Oh,
can I just
definitely.
say though, I'm like, there is like literally one photo, and Laura's in one photo, like of the group photo in flashback,
Mhm.
where they're like looking at the, I'm assuming the like, projector, like monitor or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only photo she's in. I don't like that.
No, that does not make you happy.
I don't like it. I
No.
don't like it. Well, because like everyone's like, well, where's Tim in like the rookie
Yeah.
photos, So I'm over here like, where's Laura? Like I need both the like grumpy halves of the like duos that we love to be
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I highly doubt anything's going to happen, but just like
That is interesting though, that
I
like
don't know.
she's not in those photos and
Yeah,
neither
like
is Tim. Weird.
what the heck? Although, okay, can I just say though, I totally called Tracy being like a part of the thing. I was like, there she is.
You did. I
I
mean, we
was
don't totally know if she has anything to do with it yet, but like she is there.
She just
So
looks suspicious. like, like she does. Like I mean, I'm sure it's all like intentional or whatever. Just like,
yeah,
they choose the best, photos that make it the most interesting. But like
she
I
just
was
looks us.
yeah, like I just felt so like I was like, yes, I right. I totally called it.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I mean it's Garza though. Like I just don't he's just like the last person I thought like that would be kind of
Yeah.
like the first to try to go down, like to be taken down, I guess, like by an
Yeah.
accusation. So,
Oh my God, I just thought we haven't had that many behind the scenes filming, like antics and videos and stuff from the Feds cast, have we?
not
Like not many
lately.
new ones.
Yeah. Well,
What
except for
a
the Kevin and Britt like behind the scenes, but I don't know what
yeah.
the heck they were doing on set.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I'll take it. I'll take any part of it that I can get. I mean, I'm not trying to speculate here, but like what if something does happen to Garza and they like can't clear his name?
That would make me sad. Because like who else is gonna be well, I mean Carter's pretty sassy, but like just Garza
Yeah.
just like I don't know how Felix
Garza
does it,
just
but
he just can lead. Like
yeah.
he's the leader. But it would set up for a good like mid-season finale, I guess. But like I don't want Garza to go. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
full on just speculating here. So I guess
Yeah.
we'll see tonight when you're listening to this. Or today.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when we don't like I'm just so like out of it, like what's airing when and
I
like
know.
where we
That'll
are.
be fixed though in January because they will be on the same night.
Yes,
And
thankfully.
we won't be recording Feds like a week later.
Yeah.
We still have to figure out our schedule for that, but
Yeah, we do.
they're going to be on the same night. So
Yeah.
that just makes things so much easier.
Yeah. That's what we'll be doing over the hiatus is like trying to
Yes.
figure out when the heck we're gonna
Yeah.
record and do all this stuff. But
Yeah. Because like they're going to be 2-hour episodes every week because we're going to cover both of them. I mean, like next week we have like a 3-hour episode already because we're covering 2 rookies and then a rookie Feds.
yeah, I was like talking to someone and I was like on December 5th when we record. I'm like, oh my God, that's next Monday.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I'm just
Yeah.
not with it. So, yeah.
But yeah, so and then the last piece of news is Eric and Roslyn released a new episode of their podcast. He said Ea Dijo. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Their episodes are hilarious. So yeah, so then that's about it for the news. So we'll just kind of start off with the kidnapping case and the hostage situation. This episode was one of the best ones, I think. And it was easy for me to like follow along with. Like some of the other ones, I'm like, okay, I don't really know what is like happening right here, like what's going on. So yeah, I don't know. This episode was easy to follow along with. It was a good one. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I just like, hmm, I don't know. Like, I kind of just felt like, well, I guess I just wasn't expecting the dad to be found so quickly
Yeah.
and then like have his daughter not be found until like way, way, way down the line. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, I just like so having them like separated. I mean, I get it. It like, gave like a side plot, I guess. But it just, I don't know. Like it worked, but then like, they'd have to cut away to, go to Laura and Brendan and then come back and then we're still, in the DA's office or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like it worked and I really enjoyed it. I just like there were some times where I was like, can't we just stay in one like
Yeah.
location and
Yeah.
like finish one thing?
Hmm.
But I
Yeah,
mean, it
I
all
thought
came
that
together in
too.
the end.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, the transitions are good, but I'm also like, can we just stick with one scene for now? Like, let's just finish this up. But
yeah.
yeah. So it's Thanksgiving and Brensen gets the call about a kidnapping case and they alert Garza, who's in his office working on paperwork. So the three of them are in the office. He tells them like to kind of get started on the briefing. And he's going to call Simone and Carter. So the team like all gathers in the briefing room. They give the details on the case. And we find out that Daryl is a paralegal and widower. So Elena comes in to share that the LAPD airship was spotted the RV used for the kidnapping 5 blocks from the Bureau. So they're essentially parked by the DA's office because everything is like close to each other. So Simone deduces that Daryl like works for the DA's office, but Laura's like, yeah, no one should be there. Like it's Thanksgiving. And we transition over to Wesley, who's on the phone with Angela, and he's like, yeah, I'm walking into the office. Like I'll be as quick as possible. And we won't be late for my mom's for Thanksgiving. So as Wesley like walks by his office, we see some of his colleagues and they're like whole moods. I mean, one is just chipper to be there, and the other is annoyed that they're there on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And so Angela's like, why does work have to be done today? Like, it's a holiday. And so Wesley's like, well, it has to fly under the radar and we can't afford any leaks. And Novak Stepanov is about to spill his guts. So like they end the phone call. We don't see the end of the phone call, but that's fine. I didn't really need to hear a Lopez, I love you, but okay. And we see Wesley across the table from Stepanov with his lawyer who wants his sentence reduced ultimately. And Wesley's like, nope, not happening. His eyes, this entire scene, his eyes, the lighting, like, oh my God, chef's kiss. I was like, wow, wow. So then the lawyer's like, I'm about to put on quite a show. And we transition to like see the feds roll up, but like the transition was kind of funky. And so they open the RV doors to see Daryl tied up because they haven't went inside yet. And so like he immediately asks if they have his daughter. And then when they tell him that they don't, like, he's like, you have to go, like, otherwise the kidnappers will kill her. And I, they can't see me with you. So like that transition was a little like, I don't know, it was just kind of all over the place with that. So then we see the kidnappers get off the elevator on Wesley's floor, because the feds have like just missed them. So they've got masks on and their guns are out. And the kidnappers storm into the room that Wesley, his team, Novak, his lawyer, and the deputy sheriffs are in. And they point the guns at the deputies, and Novak like takes his cuffs off. So then Novak like pistol whips the lawyer, and just as Novak and the kidnappers are about to walk out of the office, Laura, Brendan, and Carter come up and like a shootout ensues. So when told that he should give up, Novak's like, I have hostages to kill. And that's kind of where we leave that. And then we see Garza roll up to the scene and like, he meets with the lead of the negotiations team, which like is kind of like SWAT. And Garza sends Brensen to find Lainey. The little girl, while him, Simone, and Carter like all work the scene. And so Simone like gives Garza a rundown of the hostages, and she's like, one is Wesley Evers, like I know his wife, Angela Lopez from Mid Wilshire. And Simone's like, we have to tell Angela. And Carter's like, yeah, that's not gonna be a good idea. Like, but Angela's already there, and she's like, too late, I already know. So what am I like? How am I helping? So Simone's like, we're gonna do everything that we can, and Angela's like, I'm definitely gonna help, but Garza obviously wants to put a stop to that. So, um, he's like, fine, it's our case. You're here to advise. Like, that's the only thing that you can do. So we go back up to the 6th floor, and one of the kidnappers is taking like everything off the hostages, like their phones, personal belongings, etc. While Novak's like changing into some dress clothes. So Novak sees the snipers taking position, and he's like, I want the blinds closed and the hostages moved. And Wesley's like, I have an offer for you. He mentions the abandoned tunnels under the courthouse, and that's how they would shuttle notorious criminals to and from jail. And Wesley's like, I can give you the access point, like that's your ticket out of here. But Novak is always one step ahead, and he's like, well, if you know about the tunnels, so do the feds. Like, I'm not taking you up on that offer. So Novak asks the shooting victim like how he's doing, because someone got injured in that shootout. And so because he's got a gunshot wound, like he's clearly in pain, but he's like, it's no big deal. So the guy worked on Novak's team, and like, he's like, I'm not letting you die here. That's essentially what Novak was saying. So Garza like calls the floor, and the floor that they're on, and Novak's like, Novak's house of hostages, how may I direct your call? And I'm just like, dude, like this is not funny. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, criminals have like a
Sarcasm wit to them.
like just a dark sense of humor, I guess.
Yeah. So then Garz is like, I want to know your end game here. And Novak is essentially just like, I want to walk out that front door, and the feds will watch me fade into the distance. But he needs something from Garza first. And he's like, one of my guys needs a doctor. He's been shot. And Garz is like, well, then send him out. Like, what are you waiting for? And that's not going to happen. So Carter suggests sending a medic, and Angela's like, in exchange for my husband, like, she's like, I just want my husband back. Like, I don't really care who else. And so then Garza is like, well, I can potentially get a paramedic, and asks what he gets in exchange. And so Novak's like, you can have the 2 deputies. Like, one of Novak's guys asks why he's freeing the deputies, and because they're the most high profile hostages. And Novak's like, because they're wild cards, like they'll be heroes any chance they can get. So Novak like goes back to Garza and tells them to send up the medic in 10 minutes or he'll kill a hostage. And so Angela, of course, wants Garza to send her with the medic, but he's like, that's a no. So that's out. And Simone speaks up, and she's like, you should send me. Like, I wasn't in the shootout. They don't know what I look like. And so when asked if she can doctor bullet wounds by Carter, because like Carter likes to doubt her, but then like he also likes to like hype her up sometimes. Simone's like, well, I aced the FBI's operational medical class, so yeah, I can doctor bullet wounds. And Garza's just like, okay, but no heroics. Like, you go in, you assess the situation, you come back out. And so Simone asks Angela if like there's anything that she wants her to relay to Wesley. So Angela, like at first I was like, okay, is this supposed to be like some type of like hidden meaning? Because Angela's like, tell him that he still has a pie to make. And I was like, okay. I mean, is that like legit, or is that just like some like inside like joke or something between you two? Like, I don't know. But then like she tears up when she says that she and Jack are thankful for him every single day. Like, you can just see the tears in her eyes and like the hurt in her voice. And I was like, oh my gosh, Angela Lopez. Holiday episodes are not good to you and Wesley.
No, they are not.
No. So then Simone meets Ricardo, who's like the paramedic partner. This guy is just like nervous. And Simone's like keeping her cool, you know. She's like, I know that we're gonna be just fine. So Garza tells her to confirm the number of hostages, clock how many are in Novak's crew, and the weapons and ammo supply. So Simone and Ricardo are on their way up to get to the 6th floor. And they get up there, and Novak's wondering like why they sent 2 medics for a job that just like really only needs 1 person. So he's like, I know that one of you is a Fed, just playing dress up. And so Novak claims to know which one. He thinks that it's Ricardo, and Ricardo's like, okay, peace, like I'm out of here. And Simone's like, how can you just assume that it's him? Like, no questions asked. That's sexist, racist, ageist, all at the same time. And so Simone's like, why couldn't I be an FBI agent? And Novak like points a gun to her, and he's like, are you? She's like, no, but I could be, and I want that acknowledged. And so Novak's like, I like you, you're fun. And, you know, like he ushers her inside. And I was just like, I mean, she was good. She didn't have to say any of that. But like, I'm glad that she did, because I feel like Simone's had that a few times so far in the show of like either people not believing in her, like being able to do her job, or people just thinking like she's not a Fed. So, but yeah, so she gets in, and then like Simone and Wesley meet eyes. They give each other a look, and like he knows who she is. And so she silently like reassures him that everything's good. And so Novak's like searching her and her equipment, and you know, she goes over to the victim once she's clear, and like presses the wound. And she's like, you know, he needs to go to the hospital. The tourniquet's only going to do so much. And so Simone / Regina, that's her undercover name this time around, doesn't seem to be afraid, and like Novak notices that. And so he's like, that's a little suspicious and interesting all at the same time. So then like he points his gun at her again, which like, why? We don't need to keep doing this here. And so she's like, yeah, I am afraid with a gun pointed at me, but if I focus on helping the victim, like, and making that the most important thing, I can do my job. And I mean, she totally keeps her cool in all of this. So then Novak asks her where she trained and like her assessment of his friend. And she's like, you know, there's no exit wound, which means that the bullet most likely mushroomed and fractured, causing a lot of internal damage. And if he doesn't get to a hospital, like he's gonna die. So Novak's friend tells him that he has to go, and Novak it's just like, well, if you leave, like that's just another life sentence. Meaning that he'll get arrested. And so then Novak like calls Garza to tell him that his injured guy is coming out, like after some time thinking about it or whatever. And so Garza's like, great, the medic will be coming too. And Novak's again 1 step ahead. He's like, well, if you get one of my guys, like I get to keep Simone / Regina. And so Angela's like, great work. Like you got a guy out, but you're keeping your guy in. So then Garza like sends her home, but she's not going home. I mean, you can't tell Angela Lopez anything. And so then him and Carter like both know that she's not going to be in. So like Carter is just like, he runs after her to stop her and tells her not to do whatever she's going to do. That involves like jacking up his Novak's crew for information. And so Angela's like, yeah, that's easy for you to say. And Carter just kind of snaps back, and he's like, no, it's not, because I sent my trainee and her life is my responsibility. And so we see them both in like vulnerable states, and I don't know, we haven't really seen Carter in like a vulnerable state when it comes to Simone, really.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhat in the sense that like he stands up and just says like, no, she's not doing that. But so then, you know, Carter just tells her to stay, and like he'll talk to Garza, and Angela's like, okay, well, if you go in, like I'm going in right behind you. And he's just like, I know better than to talk you out of that, which like we need more Carter and Angela scenes. Like 2023, please give us Carter and Angela. So then Simone like gets one of Novak's guys to go out and like get the hostages some water. And so once he leaves, like Wesley gives her the rundown, acting as if he doesn't know her, because no one else in the room knows that like she's a Fed. They all just think that she's a paramedic still. So Simone asks under her breath if Julius, the lawyer, is on their team. And so Wesley's like, Julius is on Team Julius. Like if he finds out that she's a Fed, he'll use that to get out of there. And so then Simone's like, she tells him Angela's message. And so then like he smiles when he hears about the pie, but then when she mentions Angela and Jack, like his smile fades and the camera just focuses on his face, which like, oh, don't hurt him. Please don't. And so then Novak's guy like comes back with some bottled water, and Wes tells her that like he's the Winkus link. And so then, you know, she's like, I'll use that to my advantage. So we go back over to Garza. He asks the negotiation team like why they're still there. And the leader of the team is just like, you know, tells Garza that like one of his guys rode with the gunshot victim to the hospital, and he was rambling on about what's going on in there. And so the gunshot victim was saying that all of the hostages are on the east side and that the team is going to breach. But Garza's like, this is a long game and we can save all of the hostages. And they go at it a little bit more. The negotiations guys like, I have tactical command of this operation, and we go in 10. So we see the tactical team like get in position, bust through the doors. And we transition back to the room where all the hostages are. And so Simone like is talking to the gunman, and she tells him that like judging by his demeanor, he doesn't seem like a hardened criminal. And Wesley chimes in and he's like, yeah, like you're smarter than all of Novak's guys. And the lawyer just gets all feisty and he's like, you're gonna get us all killed, but Simone handles it. And we end up finding out that this guy is 18, and Simone's like, that's a pivotal moment for you. Like you could be charged with a plate full of felonies. And Wesley is just like, well, I can offer you a deal right now. Like, you know, I can help you kind of get out of this. And so then Simone like backs him up and like hypes him up. And all the kid has to do is get them to the tunnels via the back stairs. And this kid is like, well, maybe I should talk to Novak. Like, you know, I don't want to like do the wrong thing or whatever. And so Simone's just like, well, you'll be in prison forever, like if you do that. So, and this kid is like, he's got a few things on his mind. He's like, if I help you, I get off scot-free, and I need an apartment for when I get out. And so Wesley's like, you'll get a reduced sentence and a cell safe from Novak's reach. I'll see what I can do about the apartment. And then Simone's like, ask for a Maserati too. And Wesley's like, I don't think we could do that, but okay. So then the negotiations are done, and he like cuts Simone loose, taking off his mask. And so Simone just like tells the kid to stay with Wesley and the others. And so like, and to go over to the stairwell and down the tunnel. And so she like exits the little room that they were held in, like gun in hand. She never tells anyone that she's a Fed. So I'm assuming that she just kind of like, I don't know, told them or something, like when he was giving the water, something, because like she just up and leaves and no one ever says anything. So we see Novak like get off the phone, and he sees the hostages like walking over to the stairwell or attempting to. And he's just like, take another step and I'll start shooting. But then Simone like ends up coming between them and announces herself, and Novak's like, so the other guy was really the medic. And she tells Novak and his guys to like drop their guns. And just as she's about to pull the trigger, the doors are busted down and the tactical team is in there along with Carter and Angela. And no shots were fired, and Novak's in custody, so all is fine there. And Lopez is reunited, and Wesley's like, I know, I'll be paying for this until Christmas. And Angela is sassy, and she's just like, try Easter, like you've got a long way to go. So we kind of transition back to outside where Garza is, and Novak is like, you know, waiting there, and Novak's like, yeah, we can continue negotiations in person. And Garza's just like, yeah, that's over. Like until a phone and evidence bag starts ringing. And it's a FaceTime call with Lainey, who is blindfolded, and one of Novak's guys holding her with a gun in his hand as well. So Novak's like, I want to walk or this guy will kill Lainey. So Garza like turns away. He, calls Laura right as her and Brendan and the tactical team are about to like kick in the door to get Lainey. They end up busting in. She's not there. So like Matt turns back to the TAC team leader and, he's like, we need to get the team to stand down. And the leader of the team is like, I have command of this. And Carter and Simone are with Matt. And they're just like, well, he's got operational command. So what's really important is Lainey's safety. So Novak gets what he wants. He gets the phone back and the car, which is a Toyota Prius. And he's not so happy about that. And so, Novak's like, you won't find me. Like, if I even sense that you're following me or I hear a helicopter, like, Lainey will get her angel wings. So Simone's like talking to the guy that was holding her, Wesley, and the other hostages. And he's like, I'm good, right? Like, I got the deal. And Simone's like, yeah, did you read it though? Like, it says the deal will take effect once the signatory, which is him, aids in the capture of Novak Stepanov. And she's like, Novak wasn't captured, so the deal is basically like null and void. And the kid's like, well, the feds let him go. Like, you guys let him go, so that's not my fault. And they're like, no, it is your fault though. Like, if you want to help yourself, like, you have to help us. And so they want to know what the plan was after Novak got out. And so the kid's like, he said something about Mexico. And Carter's like, he's not going to Mexico in that Prius. And the way that Carter said that, he was like, he's not going to Mexico in that. Like, there's just no way. I was like, I mean, yeah, he's probably not.
It just cracked me up. Like, you just, gotta get the last word.
Yeah. So then the kid gets nervous. He's like, I barely know Novak and like I've never done anything like this before. So Simone wants to know who Novak trusts the most. And we find out that would be Nikola Rastic, one of his lieutenants. And so they get all of his LKAs, like last known addresses, cars, all of that. And so because they figure like if they dump the Prius, they might just get lucky. And so Simone and Carter are on a little stakeout, and Simone's talking about like Cuddy's sweet potato pie, and Carter's like, can we not talk about food? Like, I'm starving. And he's cranky too. And so Simone like calls over the radio to Brensen, and we find out that even Brendan's hungry. And I don't know, it was just so funny. I loved that little moment. Especially because we hadn't seen everyone as a team like in what felt like the entire episode. At least we hadn't seen these four. Yeah. And so, like they're sure that like they're as sure as they can be that the apartment that they're sitting on is the one, but like they've also got people sitting on Nicola's home in Calabasas. And so Carter's like, it would be much smarter for him to meet Novak and Milos at his girlfriend's high rise. And so just as he says that, like a car comes speeding out of the parking garage, and Simone and Carter block in the car. Carter gets Milos and Novak's on the run. And Simone like blocks him in again with Brensen like coming in for the backup, and they've got Novak. So it's kind of where we leave off with all that. I mean, they're still like finding Lainey and stuff, but I feel like that was a lot of the Brensen. So with that, I will let you take it from there.
Yes. Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. Like with the like, I guess not like transitions, but just like it kept going. Like you'd see they get like a little bit farther in finding Lainey, or a little bit farther, in
yeah,
to rescue the hostages and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously we saw at the beginning of the episode, that Mr. Young and Lainey were, I mean, like they were just minding their own business though, being all like, holiday, getting ready for the holiday and like just being all like just normal. But then, you have the music going, and then like I totally called, I was like, they're either going to be like right behind him or behind the like refrigerator door. And so they were both taken. although like Jennifer said, so they found Mr. Young, which was good, but like, he's obviously still concerned about his daughter. And so Brendan and Laura, like, I guess, are interviewing him. And they're like, we know it might be hard to watch, but we're going to show you the video like of the abduction to like see if that, can kind of like jog his memory a little bit. And he, like, as he's watching that, he notices, I didn't catch like what did they say, like flimsy? Is that the like kind of bunny rabbit or whatever? Like, I didn't know if that was like the name or like,
I thought it was something with a C,
oh, was it? I don't
but I
know.
could be wrong.
Well, but anyway, so there's like Lainey has a bunny rabbit, and in that uh stuffed animal is a nanny cam. So it's like set up to connect with the Wi-Fi, but that's like back at their house. But Laura asked him how long they were in the RV, to like kind of help her and Brendan determine a search area that they could like start looking into for Lainey. And well, at the beginning of the episode is when Brendan had mentioned these like, invites that he had skipped out on to, come hang out with Laura for the call center on Thanksgiving. And so later she had asked him about like these jaw-dropping parties that he was invited to, and he had mentioned that one of them, like one of the people that invited him was an EGOT winner, and she was like, oh, that's so cool. And then 2 seconds later, what's an EGOT? Like she she doesn't know. And so we get like a little bit of levity in there while they're doing this grid search, because apparently Daryl had said they had only went about like 10 minutes like outside in the RV, so it's not like a super far away like area to search. And Laura like periodically asks Brendan about the parties, like to help distract them, because at tender age kidnapping are always like really intense. And it kind of reminded me, I think it was 206 of The Rookie, when Tim had asked Lucy how she would like sabotage the wedding that her friend was,
Yeah.
like, her friend was getting married to like her ex-boyfriend or something, I don't know, to like distract her from the, well, what they thought was like the like, was it a missile threat or something? Then it
Yeah.
didn't end up being one.
Yeah, because they ended up like having drinks like in
Yeah.
the gas station or something. Yeah.
Yeah, in that store. Yeah. So that's what it kind of like reminded me of a little bit. Um, but Brendan doesn't get like a chance to tell her like who the EGOT winner was, though, because like he finally is like, okay, like we have a connection, like they finally get the feed up. Well, sort of. Like it's dark and like a little bit grainy and like not like the best. So like they're having trouble still trying to like figure out like where Lainey is in relation to like, if she's inside, like is she inside a room, is she inside a,
Yeah.
in a box, like they have no idea. But one thing Brendan did manage to do is get like a screenshot of one of their one of the like kidnappers. And Laura was like, okay, send that to Elena to run facial rec. And so maybe they can like kind of narrow down the location that way if they get a hit on whoever their, one of the suspects are. And so that did pay off. Like they think they found the apartment complex that Lainey's in. And so they like go in like full force, like SWAT's behind them too to like go and clear it. but Lainey's not there. And so they're kind of feeling a little bit defeated, but they go back to the feed and like keep watching it a little bit. And obviously, like at this point, the hostage situation has been like is like winding down, getting resolved. So like they don't have like, I mean, they have leverage in Lainey, but like she's the only like kind of, you know, card they have left to play, so to speak. So they're getting antsy and they're like, oh, they get a little bit, you know, frustrated and they're like, okay, we're just gonna like take her and, you know, get rid of her now. So they obviously have to hurry. And so they notice that one of the people like threw the bunny, which I felt so bad for her because I'm like, that's her one little thing that she has like during this whole thing, and I'm like, don't take the bunny. But Laura had noticed that they threw it towards a ceiling, which means that they were in like a basement if it's like throwing it like upward, which meant they were never in like the apartment because they're just like the one floor apartments on each level. And so that meant that they were in a garage, like the parking garage that's in like within that complex. So they managed to like run down and they catch the guy just as he was like putting Lainey into the trunk of a car. I got nervous though when they like exchanged fire because like I was like, the trunk was still open. Like he didn't have a chance to close it. So I was like, I mean, I'm obviously like nothing happened to Lainey, but I was like, oh my gosh, like how, like, I mean, I guess they're good shots, but still, I was just nervous watching that. And so they did end up shooting the suspect, and Brendan got Lainey from the trunk, and she's like, I want my dad. And he's like, I know, we're gonna go, bring you to him. And so that was kind of a good, like,
a good way to end up.
Yeah, like they set out they accomplished what they set out to do in finding Lainey. She was, safe and alive and, for the most part, like relatively okay.
Well, and just like the way that Brendan like took her to safety, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just too precious.
Yep. Can totally like, just Kevin being a dad himself is like, so like you can just tell, like just see that like connection. And so I guess like the next little like moment of sort of levity, which is ironic because it's kind of what their conversation was about in like the intensity of their job versus like, the lightheartedness of like parties. Because like Brendan's just like, sitting by himself, which I was like, I mean, I guess Simone had to get back to her family. I know, but I was just like, if she ended up inviting everyone over anyway, like why didn't he just go, like whatever. Okay. Thinking too much.
Honestly, I thought about that too after my second watch. I was like, wait, why? Like, I don't know. It was just kind of weird how they were all like doing their own thing, and then it was like, oh, they came together at the end.
But anyway, so for the right now in this moment, Brendan is by himself, eating what Laura, comments on is like, this is like a weird, like lame Thanksgiving meal that you're having. But she steals a few chips anyhow, which I thought was fun. And she is, giving him advice about how, he shouldn't like isolate himself because people might not understand like what goes on in their line of work. I just thought it was funny though that like she was the one to be like, oh well, and here I thought, you were like avoiding an ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, you're not subtle, ma'am. Like really, like I don't know, like regardless if they end up being platonic, I just think it's just funny. It's just funny to me.
It definitely is. I thought it was kind of ironic how she was like, you can't isolate yourself from your friends.
Yeah.
But that's like what she's done.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, how are you giving him advice when you should be taking that advice too? Like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah. In a
Also, like
way.
she's
Yeah.
stealing his chips. Like, oh my God, come on. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Also, they don't know what personal space is in this episode.
No,
Like
they
they couldn't
don't.
have gotten any closer if they tried.
Yeah.
So
Like the two of them like looking over the like screen, like the monitor
uh
for the nanny cam, like was giving me again Chenford vibes, although I can't remember what episode it was from last season. The one where they're
in the hospital, right?
well, the like abandoned like
Yeah.
hospital, where the guy was like
Yeah.
doing the experiments or whatever, and then did it, where
Yeah.
it's like the bluish
Yeah.
tint on the screen. People will know what I'm talking about, I hope,
Yeah.
from that like kind of chaotic description.
Even when they were like in the briefing room with the projector, like they were so
Mhm.
close. I was like, oh my God, please be louder.
Yep.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really did not know what personal space was this episode.
No, they
Um,
didn't.
and so he was just kind of telling her that, he's like, I don't really feel like going to any Hollywood parties. I mean, he like, he definitely didn't mind his, Hollywood life. But he didn't, feel like talking, going and talking to people about, like dating and diets because it feels like less than after what they see like day in and day out. Um, and so, she understood. Um, which I don't know, I kind of took it as like when she was like, you have people that like, they'll come around, but you also have people in your corner kind of thing. I was like,
Yeah.
so that means they're friends then too,
Yeah.
right? That's what I'm taking from it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, and then I'm assuming, do they have coffee in their mugs? I don't know.
I
I'm
feel
assuming
like they probably do.
maybe. I don't know, because like Carter and Garza were like talking about tequila or whatever in their
Yeah.
scenes. I was like, oh, do we have alcohol? But
Yeah, but like Carter and Garza were leaving. And like
yeah,
in last week's episode or whatever, Tracy was like, no alcohol allowed or something. So
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so they had a cute little, cheers moment, and they're being in sync
Yeah.
too. Also reminded me of Melissa and Eric because they're always
Yeah.
in sync, and so Kevin and Britt being in sync just made me happy. So we love that, and
We love
I just
Brensen.
I just adore them.
Yeah. We love Brensen. Like simple as that.
Yeah.
So next we have Simone and the twins. So the twins are home from college and like Simone's daughter Billy has some big news for her. And Cuddy's excited to have them there too. And Billy's like, Grandpa, like I'm gonna make you a Clip Talk account, which like
Hmm.
I need to see that. I need to
Get
see
the
that.
Clip Doc.
Yeah. And so Cuddy and Simone like notice Billy's luggage and they're like, what's going on? Like you have a lot of bags. And Simone and the kids are like still in the entryway. Like they've not migrated into the rest of the house. And I don't know that I was just like, migrate over to like the couch or something. Like, but she wants them both to spill whatever is going on because she can tell that something is up. And so Max tells her what Billy did. And Simone like gets pissed and she's not letting Billy explain. And like Max spilling what Billy did, I was like, wait, like what? No, let her tell her. But then I
Yeah,
was also like, well, I don't know.
it's
Siblings do
such
that
a
for each other.
yeah,
So
it's such a sibling thing to do.
yeah.
But like, I don't know, because like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that. Like, just because like she seemed, well, no, she didn't really want to tell.
No.
Of course, she was trying to talk though, and she was like, in that sneak peek clip that we saw, like where they,
Yeah.
because you're not, saying anything worth listening to. It's like
Yeah.
she didn't really seem like Simone didn't seem like as receptive as like I thought she'd be. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even the look on Billy's face, she was like nervous. I mean,
Yeah.
which I would be too, but like also, I mean, it's your mom. Like she's hopefully gonna understand. So
Yeah.
So then like, someone's called into the office for the kidnapping case. And later in the episode, like when she's about to go undercover as the paramedic, like we see her call Cuddy and she lets him know that like she doesn't think she's gonna make it home for dinner. And you can hear like the nervousness in her voice, and she's like, tell the kids that I'm proud to be their mom, and like nothing that they do can ever change that. And this isn't the first time that we've seen her call Cuddy before, like she goes to do something dangerous or like go undercover or whatever. um but yeah, so it was interesting to see that. And so then like someone gets home and she sees Cuddy sitting on the couch, and he's like, you're gonna have to stop calling me while at work with those cryptic goodbyes, like my heart can't take it. And she's like, well, you're gonna have to get used to it because I love you. And so she shows him the marshmallows that she brought home, and she's like, I hope there's still food left because I'm starving. And Cuddy's like, of course there is, like I make a lot of food. um so then like Billy and Max come into the living room, and Simone's like, we still have to talk. And so Cuddy and Max go into the kitchen to fix Simone a plate, while Billy and Simone sit down. And Billy's like, Simone worked so hard to get her into pre-law at Berkeley. And Billy's like, I didn't know how to tell you that I was miserable. And so essentially Billy doesn't want to be a lawyer anymore. And that's why she was flunking her classes. She didn't think that she could tell her mom because Max knows exactly what he wants to do. Cuddy knew what he wanted to do when he was her age. And I don't know, she kind of like digs at Simone, and she's like, it may have taken you a few decades, but like you knew exactly what you wanted to do. And Billy's just like, I just feel lost. And so Simone's like, I'll help you. Like it may take some time, but I'm there for you. Which like, did we find out what Max was going to college for? I feel like because Cuddy had alluded that they were both going to Berkeley.
Yeah, I don't know if they said though.
I feel like it was alluded that he was also going into pre-law, but I don't know.
Maybe.
So then the doorbell rings, and Cuddy's like, who could that be at this hour? And he opens the door to the rest of the team, and Carter arrives first, and then it's like Garza and Elena. And it looks like Brensen shows up together, and we just get the classic like BFF handshake from Brendan and Simone.
I missed that. Like I was just like so glad that was back because I was
Yeah.
like, I need like more Brendan and Simone like scenes.
Yeah.
I was glad they
I
kept that
know.
handshake in there.
I know. I'm like, I had to watch like who was coming in what order multiple times because I could not get past Brendan and Laura. Like, I don't know if they showed up together, but like she walked into the door like in front of him.
Mhm.
And I was just like, it's canon that they either showed up together or they both parked and like walked up to the door together. Like, it's canon. It's canon. And no one can tell
I
me
must
any differently.
I must have missed that then because I didn't catch that. I mean,
Yeah.
I caught the like little moments like with them, that the camera caught,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's like a blink and you miss it type of thing.
yeah.
But yeah. So we see Laura and Simone like dancing, Simone saying grace. And for a split second when we saw like who was kind of sitting around the table, I was like, Laura and Brendan are sitting across from each other. Like they are. This is canon too. And then we saw like another angle, and there was a seat in between Max and Brendan. Like they weren't, it wasn't like Brendan was sitting right next to Max and across from Laura.
Yeah, it was
And so
like
I
a
was
bit of a
like,
diagonal.
yeah. So I was like, well, they're
Close
still
enough.
kind of sitting. Yeah, like I'll take what I can get. And so we end the episode with Simone looking around the table at the two families that she has and smiling, and then everyone cheers as.
Mhm.
And it's just, this is the found family scene that we've wanted all season long.
Yep.
And like if we could get that for the rookie too, like I would be more than grateful.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
that would be good. Yeah, especially if they could have like like Smitty, Tamara, like
yes.
like literally everyone.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to have a really big table.
Selena, like I don't even care what they're doing at that point. Like literally just give me all of them hanging out.
Yeah.
And I love how like Elena was there.
Mhm.
Oh, it was just so good. It was so
Yeah.
good. But I loved how Simone was like, I invited a few people who spent their Thanksgiving saving lives. And I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, my face wasn't, I wasn't crying at all. My face wasn't like leaking or anything. It was so good.
Yeah.
So,
And I
yeah.
just thought it was nice because she was like, so how, how big is that country you said you
Yeah.
could be? I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I thought it was also nice that they kept with Brendan's like sobriety and
Yes.
like him have like a
Yeah.
non-alcoholic drink because that
Yeah.
I caught. But did I did I catch Laura and Brendan arriving at the same time? Apparently I did not. I missed that.
Yeah, because Carter like brought out it was like a glass of or a bottle of wine or whatever and like put it
Mhm.
right in front and Brendan was like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
More family scenes, please. And I love how it didn't take place with them at the bureau. Like it took
Yeah.
place with them outside of work. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
More family scenes in 2023, please.
Yes. That
Yeah.
would be nice. Yeah. I was just glad we had like Elena back
Yeah.
for the episode.
And we get
And
her next week too,
yeah.
judging by the sneak peek that came out today.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
today is in Monday when we're recording this, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. And I just appreciate the like they just like allow her to like use like Spanish
Yes.
in like all of her like sayings. So that's just nice. But so we do, speaking of Elena, we do like see her, well, we like see Garza, he's like in his office just like minding his own business, and then Elena comes in to like drag him away from work because apparently his sister said to because they need help making the food that that Garza was like, you need help making the food that I can't even eat because of the stupid diet that I'm on. Um, and Elena was like, okay, well, if you got like, if you come help, like, I'll save you some flan. Um, and but obviously, like the case, is taking priority over that. So we don't even get to like. I just want to know, like, I just want to meet like one of Garza's like sisters
Yeah.
or something, like I just want to know, like, just 'cause I could just imagine like this, just like these like vivacious people and like all like having a bunch of conversations all at one time or something,
Yes.
or like, you know, sibling arguments, and then, it's like not the right time. Like I have so many things that I could picture with like that
Mhm.
family dynamic. So hopefully we get that, maybe next year. Um, yeah. So we get like a little bit with like, well, did Carter call, or no, what did he say? The expert on divorce, I guess, or like, did he say divorce whisperer, or am I making that up? Swear to
He
God.
said something like that, and I was like, all right, that's
Yeah.
interesting, but okay.
So we get a little bit of that, because it's Carter's first holiday, like or post, what did he say? Post divorce holiday.
Yeah.
Um and like, so they're like talking, kind of getting ready to leave for the day. Um and like Carter appreciated like the work distraction, but he also couldn't help himself like checking on his, well, soon to be ex-wife's social media all day long. um and because I guess like uh her and his son, like they're spending Thanksgiving with her family in New
Yeah.
Orleans, so that's why he's like kind of flying solo, and apparently had Chinese takeout waiting for him, which, I mean, that's not really the first time though that I've heard like people in like just shows in general like use that as like Thanksgiving like
Yeah.
leftovers or like food.
Yeah.
like to have takeout. But so he's kind of like Carter's still talking about like the social media and stuff and like showing Garza I'm assuming the photos. And then Elena comes over and like sees the phone and she's like, oh, yep, she likes him enough to post about it. Like that's and she's like, because Garza gives her a look and she's like, I could be wrong. And then just literally not even like a second later, she's like, but I'm not.
Yeah.
like she had no filter. She was like, sorry, but like this new guy that, Evelyn's seeing seems really, into her.
Yeah. Yeah. Garza was like,
So
you're not helping. Like,
yeah,
no.
at all. Yeah. So that's when he offers up the, tequila as an option, as opposed to, Carter's takeout at home. And so, but I mean, I guess since we didn't really like get that scene, I guess like, Carter brought the wine over to
Yeah.
Simone. So there you go.
I love that we like get little snippets of Garza and Carter's friendship.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I love seeing it, and I love seeing like how they're connecting too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. They just throw in like a little piece about Carter, like almost every episode. So it's nice to see.
And just, Garza being like, giving words of wisdom, but they're still like, I don't even know like what the word is. Like just very like
he tries to be like comical with it, I feel like.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like it's not necessarily like advice that you would think like to take, but then he's just trying to keep it real. Like he's just this is honestly like what you can do and like, here, learn from my experience kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. It's just he just has a unique way of approaching things, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
So yeah, but that kind of wraps it up. Well, Carter and Garza didn't have like a lot of moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that like wraps it up for the episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did have a couple of listener thoughts. Mindy had said this was the best episode so far. I really liked Laura trying to distract Brendan by asking about his invites and then wanting him to reconnect with his old friends. I also enjoyed Carter convincing Angela to stay and knowing that she wouldn't just go home. The Lopez moments were great. The opening phone call, message, and reunion were all wonderful. And Mindy said, I hate seeing them separated, but their reunions are always so moving. And she said, and now for some slightly negative thoughts. I'd like to see Brendan get some of the undercover stuff. Simone's pretty good at it, but she seems to do it almost every episode. Also, Mindy said she needs to stop calling Cuddy every time she's in trouble. He knows that she loves him and it causes him to worry. I have to say that I agree with Mindy's thoughts here. Like, I don't know. Simone has been doing quite a bit of undercover like the last few episodes, which I like to see it, but I'm also and I know that the show's like based around Simone, but also like, can we give Brendan some undercover or Laura?
Yeah, well, because like I just keep going back to like the pilot episode. When like I think it was Garza was like, he's a chameleon, like on, especially if you watch a show or whatever, so I'm like, okay, so like let's
see that.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I wonder if it's coming in like the second half of the season.
Maybe.
I don't know. I hope so. Like, I would like to see Carter. I mean, we've seen him go undercover some. Like, I would like to see him go undercover. Laura, like Brendan. Honestly, I would just like to see them have more shining moments. And I feel like Simone's stuff kind of overshadows that sometimes. But I also know that the show is like based around her. So it might just kind of be like the Rookie season 1, where a lot of it was about John Nolan. And, then like after it just kind of is more of like the ensemble. I don't know. But and I agree with the Cuddy stuff, like her calling him every time. Like, I get it. She doesn't know if like that's, like you just want to make sure, but it's also like that stresses him out and he already doesn't really care for her being a cop. So I don't know. Yeah.
That's true. I guess I didn't really think of it like that.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know like how else they would do like the family scenes, since she
Right.
is like always on the job and then he's always, well, usually like at home.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I would just like to see because like remember when they did the well, no, I guess that was like when she first arrived at Cuddy's house and they like had the like long talks
Yeah.
of like when, well, it was the rookie
Yeah.
episode. Like just more like scenes like that for them.
Yeah.
Maybe like they can have like, heart a little bit more of like heart to heart conversations or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I guess when, we found out that they were like casting him or whatever, like in Feds, like not just for the backdoor pilot. I didn't realize that he would be in like almost every episode, which is again fine, like, great. But I thought that it would be more like seeing the dynamics of how like he doesn't want her to be a cop and like how that can affect him and like, his views on that versus like her being a cop. Like I figured it would be more like the backdoor pilot. So like now I don't know, it doesn't totally feel like that. It kind of does, but not really because they've seemed to have gotten away from that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Or just more things where like I feel like the undercover thing, like when Simone was in the wedding dress and Brendan was in the
Yeah.
tux, like we saw that for like the cold open, which okay, I get it. The rookie's done that too, where they're, like, we kind of like wonder like, oh, what, case was that or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like they were undercover for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to know like more about that. And like, so I don't know, maybe we'll get like a group undercover thing at some point.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of did like with the what episode was it where it was the blindfolded guy and like all of like the replicas of him. It was just a few
Oh,
episodes
yeah.
ago where they were like undercover kind of at like that motel. Not even undercover, but they were just like staying there or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. We need more undercover stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Paige had said it was my favorite episode by far. Loved the end sequence with all of them together. Yep.
Literally one of my favorite scenes ever was that end sequence.
Yeah.
And being on Twitter, like when that was happening, I was like, oh my God, I literally don't know what to type besides just like just power through on my keyboard. So
Yep.
yeah. Sharon had said, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Same. I thought it was a good episode. It was a good episode to like end before the holiday with.
Yeah.
So
Although, okay, so like was I losing my mind or did like the I don't know what to call them, like the announcer person like at the beginning of like Feds when it's like, it's all new, the rookie Feds.
yeah,
Swear to God, he said it was like the mid-season
he
finale. And I was
did.
like, excuse you.
He did. And
Not?
I was he did, and I was tweeting and I was like, wait a minute. Now I know that like we're a week behind on podcast episodes, but like
Yeah.
didn't we just talk about like the 109 episode description and how it
Yeah.
airs like 11:29? I literally went back and looked and I was like, I'm not making this up, am I? Like I was confused. And then I was like, yeah, no,
I
this is
missed that
not the
tweet.
winter finale.
Yeah. But I was like, say what now? Like it's not right.
I was wondering if you were gonna catch that because you didn't watch live. So I was
No, I
like,
did
I
not.
wonder if she'll see that, but like I
Yeah,
figured
I
she
mean, I
would.
was just like listening to it and I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, no, I literally like I went back to our previous outline and I was like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that we covered that. And
Yeah.
this is not the winter finale. So yeah,
No.
it was funny. But yeah, no, everyone else caught that on Twitter and we were just like, yeah, no, this is wrong.
Yep.
But yeah, any other notes on this episode? There was a lot.
I just enjoy holiday episodes
Same.
and I'm glad we got like a Thanksgiving one because we've had,
Yeah.
let's see. So like the Rookie, we've had Valentine's Day,
We've had Christmas,
obviously.
Halloween, two
Halloween, yes,
Halloweens.
twice. Yes. Um, it might be it. But then we have, okay, so Feds, we have Thanksgiving. Yeah. I mean, they've covered quite a few holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like Feds sort of like with the Reaper episode was like Halloween-ish.
Yeah.
But it was the day after. So
Yeah. I kind of wish that we were getting a Christmas episode for Feds too, but I know that's just
that'd be
pushing my
fun.
luck. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Never know though. Maybe we could get like a Valentine's Day
I was gonna
episode
say,
for
isn't
Feds.
Valentine's Day this or on a Tuesday in 2023?
Oh gosh, that I don't know.
Let me see. It
Do you know?
is. It is.
If there's anything about,
Brensen related?
I will, you will not be hearing from me like ever again. Because
Oh
like,
my God. But
like,
if there is, like, pray for us both
oh my
because
God, yeah. Because
yeah.
like, what if they do like one of those like secret admirer things for like Valentine's Day?
Stop.
That'd be so
Stop. I will literally no, like
that'd be
I
cheesy.
yeah. Well, and we're gonna get Rookie and Rookie Feds that night. So if we get
Mhm.
something with Chenford and Brenson, good God, we're gone. We're
Yep.
gone.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it though for us. You can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod _ or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. You can find us individually on Twitter as well. I'm at jstark804.
And I'm at Kara Hammond.
And we're also on TikTok. I say this all the time, but I need to get back on that swing. And if you liked this episode of Shop Talk, we would really appreciate it if you left us a rating and review. It helps other fans find us and just helps out the podcast. And then we also have some new TeePublic designs going up. Our wonderful friend and lovely and talented designer designed us some fun things. So yeah, that will be going up. And the Cyber Monday sale runs until Wednesday, 11:30.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
yeah. So get your Rookie merch. I saw that like the Rookie account have posted like the John Nolan shirt, and our friend Lauren was like, "We should get matching ones," and I was like,
I
I
was
mean,
literally like,
no
I could
comment.
not. I can't. Yeah, like I was just like, no, Lauren, no.
But then I was talking to a few of my other friends, and like, all of these other shows were like sharing their like official merch. And
Yeah.
my one friend was like, fans just make so much better merch. And I was like, I mean, it's not that it's bad. I don't know. I just, yeah.
And people were posting like the John Nolan cutout, and I was like, I'm done.
No, I draw the line there. I'm sorry, I draw the line there.
I wouldn't get anyone as a cutout though. Like that's just
No.
so being weird because like if I just like if I'm sitting somewhere and it's in my room, I will literally have a jump scare every 5 seconds of my life, and I don't need that.
Yeah. So my brother once had like a life size cutout or whatever of like a NASCAR driver, and it was just weird. Like it was just really weird. I was like, dude, you need to just take this down. So yeah, but we will be back next week covering the winter finales of The Rookie, which is 508 and 509, and then the Rookie Feds. So we'll have a long episode next week because we're talking about the double feature. But yeah, it'll be a good one. So until then, bye everyone.
Bye guys.
Go get him, boo.